I can't believe it's Friday again. Anyway, so today's topic is this idea of being a morning person, night person, and how and if that changes over time. So it's funny, when I was a little kid, I never slept in. I was always up early. My sister could sleep till 1 or 2, and she still tells stories of my mom coming in and vacuuming in the room. Like if we shared a bedroom, my mom would come in with the vacuum at like 1:30 to try and wake her. But oh, how the tides have changed, because now she can't sleep. So she's up 6:30, 7, lays in bed, whatever. Now, mine could also, because now I'm back to not sleeping this week. But so I can fall back to sleep, and then all of a sudden I wake up and it's like 9 o'clock. My sister would never see those digits on a clock in the AM form. So we were talking about this whole idea of like labeling yourself as a morning person or a night person. But I am definitely a night person now. And I think it's because my husband, we call him Night Guy, and I think he's turned me into Night Gal. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I think it's interesting that we do go for these kind of like, I am this, and not it's like, I don't think I've ever said right now I'm this. It's more like I hate the book I'll Love You Forever. Now that's constant, but like there is this kind of like divider in the world. Like, do you love that book or do you hate that book? And as if it could never change. Like nothing in your life, right. You cross over to the other side. And being a morning person or a night person, like my whole life, there were 4 siblings, me and 3 others, and a loud house. And night was like my haven. Like I just loved the quiet house. I could stay up so late and sleep so late the next day.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was like, I just remember those nights feeling like I could be productive. I could get all my schoolwork done. I could be alone with my thoughts, and then I had kids and I had to get up in the morning. And so then if I stay up too late at night, I'm destroyed. Like I get this second wind, then I can't fall asleep. And now in another new twist, my husband gets up really early now. So
you hear him, right?
Well, he wakes me up. So
yeah. Wait, on purpose or?
I hope not.
Yeah. I mean, you're not trying to get up. You hear him getting up is my point.
Yeah, I hear him getting up. And so, there's this kind of like, I would go to bed after him every night because I'm not going to bed at 10 o'clock. That's ridiculous. But then I'd end up at 5. And so I'm exhausted. So now I'm even less of a night person because I'm like, I have to buy into his schedule. Otherwise, I'm waking up so early. I don't want to get up that early. So is anything fixed in life? Do we get to say anything that's like, I'm always this,
It's so true. It's so true. And I thought my sleep was actually going pretty well. And Todd used to call it, if I would grab my iPad during the night, he would say like, oh, you taking a class? So this week, apparently I'm taking a class again during the night because I don't know why. I have some theories on it and it's COVID related. It's like, I feel like I can already feel like
the mask coming back on. Yeah, I know. It is a little bit of a weird feeling. And also it does depend on where you are in the country.
Yeah.
Like we were in New York City, everybody's wearing masks on elevators and like any place that is confined other than outside. Yeah. And we forgot our masks a few times. We were like, oh no. I even went to the airport 2 weeks ago and walked in the airport without a mask. And like,
that's crazy.
Yeah, I just totally forgot about it. Everyone else is in masks. And I was like, oh my God, I forgot my mask. And everyone has them, so you can get one. But it is really interesting, like the anxiety level of like related to the news. And a big part of me wants to stop reading the news and listening to the news and just like live my life like this, which I think I could really do. I could be that person. It doesn't.
Yeah.
I don't know. It kind of feels like, how do you show up to a conversation and be like, oh, that happened?
So I think I don't have the panacea for it, but I have maybe a little correction on it. So we've stopped watching any news in the evening because I thought that would help, because especially as you're heading toward bed. So we stopped that a while ago. And because I'm still on social media, I can see things I see headlines, and I'm finding that the headlines are just enough. It gives me just enough to know kind of what's going on. But I do kind of feel like right now I'm watching like like I'm sitting in the back of a car and I'm watching the window go up. That's how I feel. And I think my anxiety is going just right along with it.
Well, what are the other things that you think we label people and then people change? Like, introvert, extrovert is such a big label right now.
Yeah.
And is that like, this idea of being born with a nature, is that like part of who we are born with? Like Dan, when I met Dan, no one knew him. Like he was so quiet.
That's so funny.
And never needed to like participate in a conversation. And we actually were campers at the same camp together. And none of my friends even knew who he was once we started dating, because he was just really quiet. And now no one would guess. Like we went somewhere last night and I said, oh, you should wear your Apollo. And because he only wears it to sleep. And I said, I think it helps more if you wear it during the day too. Yeah. I said, you should wear it because it has this social and open. And he's like, why do I need that? I mean, like, there's no way that he didn't need that when I met him like that. And now his career choice, his family, like he just isn't like that anymore.
So
that is the funniest thing.
What?
Jerry Friedman is saying, thanks for taking Barbara to the airport.
It's true. I did do that yesterday. You're welcome. So it's funny. And people still will say to me like, oh, yeah, you're so extroverted. And I think I was extroverted as a kid. But it depends. I mean, I think the classic definition, if I understand it right, is the energy that it takes, right? Like that it takes a lot of energy for me to have conversations. And then I have to like kind of and like do something and get the energy back, and then I can come back out. So it's like that transfer of energy. It takes a lot for me to have conversations, and people never guess that because they think, oh my God, you could talk to anybody, but they don't know what goes on inside of me.
I don't know if that's the definition. I think like if I had to look at character in my house where we have the half introvert, half extrovert, when Dan has nothing to do, he gladly picks up another book, like a 10th book, and sits and reads. Yeah. And when I have nothing to do, I go to look for people.
Okay. So I'm Dan in that story.
So how much like are you re-energized by being with people versus being out versus, just he could spend days just watching TV and reading and being by himself and being
that takes energy from me.
And maybe the external of that changes, but the internal stays the same. And I just think there are a lot of things like that over time, I feel like if you're changing, which hopefully we all are,
yeah, right,
and even hopefully changing for the better, like does it still go at odds with who you are inherently? Hi, Sumaira. She says hello. Does it go at odds with who we are inherently? So when we hit those ages where we lose filter a little bit, do all the years in between just like completely disappear, like,
yeah. But wait, I'll tell you a funny one. So my dad, who just turned 90 last month, the joke throughout his life has been he has one friend, or like he doesn't need friends. He doesn't like people. The whole thing. And now he's like making friends left and right. And my mother is like, this is exhausting. Thank God Daddy waited this long because it's killing her. And she is the classic extrovert. And she's like, oh my God, this is exhausting. Like he wants to be with people. Like if they have, like, it'll be a random night and my dad will say, well, who are we meeting for dinner tonight? My mom's like, just me. He's like, oh. It's so weird.
I hope your mother's not taking it personally. Maybe he's not. I hope your mother's not taking it personally.
Totally.
Anyway, all right. Well, that was our musing for today. Are there inherent, born this way characteristics that maybe we get the skills over our lifetime to like mask it, or maybe be a little more socially appropriate with whatever it is, but that inside, that's still our default. Don't know.
Yeah.
We'll get back to you on it.
Have a good weekend, everybody.
Bye.